once again, thank you for joining us. I am Mark from Digital Home Systems, the head of technical support. Today we have another presentation for you. This one is on the new brand of cameras we've recently got in, called Lilin cameras. Now, Lilin cameras, much in the same way as your standard camera system, does actually have, your standard cameras. You have your bullet cameras, your dome cameras, your intercoms, your NVRs, and a couple of other brands for them as well. Added benefit of actually having Lilin cameras, especially in Australia as well, is they are made of essentially pretty durable materials. With that, they're actually able to be used in pretty much the extremes of the Australian weather. So if you're high up north in, let's say, Cairns, for example, in summer your temperatures can get quite high. The maximum operating temperature for pretty much the entire Lilin range is actually 50 degrees Celsius, which means you don't have to run the risk of your devices frying themselves because they only have let's say a 40, give or take a couple of degrees of their recommended operating temperatures. So you won't have devices that will essentially lose their quality of life as time progresses. They also all come with 3-year warranties, which is an added benefit. And they actually come with pretty solid specs for them. They either are 2 megapixel or 4 megapixel cameras, 1080p, high def resolution, English. They all stream at either 25 to 30 frames per second, which is good for any sort of recording methods. NVRs and cameras support 265, H265 video encoding. The couple of them only support 264, but those are specialty cameras that they actually have available to them. In regards to specialty cameras, they are available to them. There are 3 in particular of interest. One is a mini dome camera, which unfortunately I do not have here, but it is absolutely tiny. Its actual vertical height is only 7 centimeters, which is very small considering. The other one is the pancake camera, which I like to call it. It is just very flat. That's its entire dimensions. So it can actually fit into pretty much any sort of tiny space you need. And the third one, which is what the primary focus of today is actually going to be on, is their PTZ camera, which is, wait one moment, this guy right here. So the PTZ camera has 340 degrees of panning and 9 degrees of tilting. Essentially allows you to actually get full view over an entire system. 3 times optical zoom as well. It has an IP rating 66, means it's essentially viable for indoor use and outdoor use. And the main reason we're doing a little presentation of the Fibaro system is the fact that the PTZ is actually fully controllable through the Fibaro platform. So what I'm just going to do very quickly is show you the very basic setup for it. So much like any sort of other setup system for a Fibaro, sorry, not a Fibaro, for an actual camera system, such as the Hoa, Swan, Hikvision, and so on, they do actually have a dedicated software used to actually find the cameras. So in this instance, it is what's called the IP scan. As you can see here, I currently have 2 devices that currently set up. So we have an NVR, which ends in 95, and the PTZ, which ends in 92. This pancake camera that I have has actually been defaulted, and I'll show you how easy this is to set up. So you just need to download this program. You can get it on the Lilin store itself. From there, just refresh your system for it, and it'll pop up with all the cameras in your system. As you can see here, these are all sorted, no issues. However, this one will not be able to be connected as it is not on the same gateway or addressing system. So all we have to do is change that. We do have a couple options. We have static IP address, DHCP or PPPoE. I'm just going to set it to a static because I know exactly what address I want for it. So all I need to do is change the IP address. So I shall change it to 19. And the gateway just needs to match our normal gateway, much as how you would set up any other sort of system. Then we just need to set up to authenticate. So tick down here and put in the default password and username, which is admin and pass. Press apply. And as you can see, it has actually automatically changed. So if I just stop sharing the screen, go back to a web browser. So if I just go back to this web browser, I can just very easily type in the IP address necessary for it. and it'll prompt me to log into it. So admin pass. So all set up. Much like a lot of other cameras, you do need to load them up. And what is it? The Pancake camera as an example. You do need to load it up into a Internet Explorer tab for it, but the Pancake is not the main drawer of this. So what I'll just very easily do is show you how to actually set them up in a home center system. So that camera is actually already operational. If I was to open up in another tab, I'd be able to show you, but we'll essentially skip that for the time being. So what I just need to do is open up a new tab, go into my home center controller itself. And what we all need to do is add it to the system. So the standard way of adding a camera is the same as pretty much every single camera unless using a plugin variant. Go to devices, go to other, press the little plus, and then select IP camera. So unfortunately for the time being, Lilins are not actually on the list of predetermined devices they have for it for templates. However, they are very easy to set up. So you simply press other, choose the model, and press save, and it'll give us a blank template for it. So none of the information is filled in. However, Lilin was actually kind enough to actually go onto the Fibaro marketplace itself and actually give you a little bit of a template to actually how to set up all your cameras. So this is just go to the Fibaro marketplace, search up Lilin, and you'll be able to get this page. 1 second, click the wrong link. And then from here, all we have to do is ignore this. So the platforms are Home Center 2 and Home Center 3 Lite, and it's compatible with 2s, Lites, 3s, and 3 Lites as well. So let's scroll down. It's given us a couple options, such as the zoom commands, the compatible device cameras, and at the bottom will actually give us our streaming path and our snapshot path. So all we need to do is simply just copy these and put them into our camera. Make sure to remove any leading slashes because that will cause issues. Then we just need to set the address for it. So this is the Pancake camera. And what does need a username and password. So once we've done that, I simply press save. If I go back to my dashboard, we will have a new device, which is an IP camera. We open it up, as you can see, it's currently upside down at the moment. But it has a frame rate for it, and as you can actually see, motion is actually detected for it as well. So that camera is all set up. Now, what I can do as well is actually set up pretty much identical to that, but for the PTZ camera I have instead. So if I just go back to settings, go to devices, once again, add device, select a camera, others again, and just use the exact same streaming path. One of the added benefits of it as well is the fact that you don't need multiple different paths to go to the same ones, so they're very easy to set up. Now, considering it is a PTZ camera, we can actually use the stream the URL configuration to actually use the pan and tilt function. Simply just tick that active, and then we will need the commands for these. They are actually also listed on the same page. So our left turn is this command. Our right turn is this command. The up command is this. Down command is this. And then our stop command. It is necessary to actually get the stop command because you actually need to be able to stop the camera from rotating. So once again, we need the address for it, which if I just look at my scanner for it, ends in 92. And once again, use username and password. Press save. So something is worth noting regarding cameras as well is unless you actually refresh your page, you'll be unable to preview them. But I'll just name this to PTZ. And to go back to my dashboard. So as you can see, we have a new camera, which is PTZ. And as you can see the side of my face. So I can actually now rotate the camera. Unfortunately, this computer does not stream very well when I have a upload going at the same time. But if you bear with me a second, as you can see, it's actually turned around and it's off to my right a little bit. However, this isn't actually the end of it. Thanks to the wonders of Lilin actually sending me through some information as well for it, I've actually produced a preset command, a preset position command system. So I will actually be providing this to you as well. Simply need to upload a file. It's a little Quickapp. Choose the Lilin PTZ controller. And what it does is it actually generates with 4 preset commands for you. So in order to actually set these preset commands, we simply need to go into the camera. Give it an upload. Log into it. Go to PTZ setup. As you can see, it's a lot smoother now. Sorry, you go to setup, top right. We go to PTZ on the right hand side. If yours isn't visible, there are actually up the top 2 options. One is basic and one is advanced. Make sure you're in the advanced function because you will actually miss some of the commands. And then all we need to do for it is actually set up the areas for it. So, example, we have the preset positions and go to preset setup. So we want a preset point. So first we do for it is actually just control the camera. So let's just say we want to see my face as the preset for it. This is position 1. Just press save. Save preset successful. Then we'll get position 2. So let's just say something moves outside our window. I'll just rotate this around. No, the other way actually. Once again, does not have 360-degree. You can enjoy the panoramic view. So preset position 2, successful. Preset position 3, I rotate it back around. So I can actually face the roller shutters just behind me. Save that. And then position 4, which can actually be the door to the actual showroom itself, and also the computer. So I just press save there. So all these positions done. So if I just simply go to the preset position of 1, essentially rotates around and looks directly at me. Inside the home center, I have actually made commands that will actually copy the first 4 ones you've set for it and actually just run them through. So as an example, if I just press 2, let me go back. You can see it rotating around. And I've also got a command where I will autofocus after a short amount of time. So once again, I can just make it go back to me with position 1, rotate back around, and we'll autofocus. What this actually allows you to do is set up certain instances in your home center controller itself. So an example, if a motion sensor detects something, it will actually rotate it around to actually go to that position. So I actually just have a scene controller here. There's a quad. I've already added to the system. If I just go to scenes, create myself a new scene. Let's call this PTZ button 1. What I have to do is add in 2 instances. First one being I'll actually triggering devices, which is the quad scene control. Choose the scene ID that it runs, equals button 1, and then button is pressed. Then once again, go to choose a device. In this instance, we want the PTZ control. Instead of turning on, off, or toggle, you press a button and then specifically choose the button you want. So PTZ1. Then we can just copy this scene. Instead, we can make this button 2 now. Go to PTZ2. Duplicate it again. Button 3. Press once. Position 3. And once again, just duplicate it once more. Button 4. Press once. PTZ4. Now I just have to go through and actually activate all those because they will deactivate themselves by default. And they'll all name themselves 1. So I'll simply change them to 2, 3, and then 4. So what I can then do then is to give you a better view. If I actually go to the Lilin camera itself, go back to the live view for it. I can now press the buttons on this. Button 1, so it goes to that was button 3. Rotate this around the wrong way, haven't I? You have. Yep. So button 1 goes to me. Button 2 will rotate, look outside. Button 3 will be the window winders just behind me. And button 4 will be the door. As you can see, it's a little bit fuzzy. It will autofocus in a moment. There you go, a little bit sharper. So with regards to that and the actual Lilin cameras themselves, sorry, not within the Lilin cameras, inside the Fibaro home setup, your devices can actually all be viewed through the actual cameras themselves. So as you can see the little diagram down there, I can click this button to make it a little bit wider. And this will also update accordingly as well. Now with a slightly lower frame rate because of the uploading. So once again, thank you for attending this webinar. If you have any questions or have any queries regarding the Lilin cameras themselves, or you want to get the little quick app that I made for the PTZ control, feel free to contact me at mark@dhsys.com.au. If you have any general inquiries, feel free to contact office@dhsys.com.au or call the office and we should be able to handle any of the inquiries. Thank you for being here.